Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going to start this morning with going to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. First off, in regards to Agape, it's been a dizzying week. Holy cow. Woo! I'm still suffering from whiplash. It's been insane, and my state looks like it's run by the clown circus. Literally, the clown circus has come to town and has taken over. You'll see what I mean in the follow-up video to the Agape situation after this, but I just kind of wanted to prepare you for that video because, wow. Just wow. This state of mind is run by a bunch of clowns. A bunch of clowns. And believe me, I'll say this. If I had the finances, I would not be in this state anymore. We'll get into why in the next video. But yeah, alright, now, the usual disclaimers, folks. In the description box, as always, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by Autistics for Autistics, where they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's quote-unquote behavioral modification program. Also, allergies. Full swing. Kill me. In fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so please read that article, share on all your social media, take screenshots too, alright, folks? These are dirty bastards that fight dirty, alright? We also have the NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks. They are a small non-for-profit. They only bring in about $10,000 a year, which is mostly spent on equipment. So please, if you can, donate what you can. If you can't, please share on all your social media, all right? All help is accepted, necessary, and we are very grateful if you could, okay? We also have the links to the Agape boarding school situation, which I just touched on. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri, that takes in quote-unquote troubled male teens. They do have, and pending, over 21 civil cases sitting against them right now, as well as the second state case, which, again, we'll get to that in the next video, that's been filed against them. We have one former staff arrested by the FBI. We have a former doctor that used to be on the premises, up on substantiated multiple allegations of sodomy and sexual abuse against children. And he is, as we speak, facing prison time. Folks, we need to make some noise. This state has fumbled the football. We have become a clown state. We need these people to feel the pressure. It is an election year in my state. We need to let them know that not only the state, but the nation and the world is watching each move that they make so that they understand we are not going to take these half-ass attempts and fucking buffoonery when it comes to protecting these kids, alright? Please go to these links, share on all your social media, sign and make sure to share the change.org Shut Agape boarding school petition out everywhere that you can, alright? Okay, We also got the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, which needs just as much national and international pressure as Agape boarding school does. This place has been operating for 3 fucking decades. They are still open after 6 deaths of their students. They have caused deaths, and they're still open. So we have Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject with over 3 decades of receipts. We also have the templates and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please go ahead and use your headphones, all right? Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on this channel and we talk about some dark subjects. So, if your child is 16 and below, parental advisory is very obviously advised, all right? Should go without saying. It's 11:19. I woke up late, so no, I'm not quite coherent yet. And I'm still suffering from whiplash. Again, you'll hear about that in the next video. So if I stumble over my words, folks, apologies in advance, all right? So let's go back to where we left off the other day. It is characteristic of the typical programmed op that the student will receive special rewards for showing desired behaviors in response to stimulus situations. Lie. That is a lie. Why is it a lie, folks? Because what have we been told by survivors and New York about these bizarre behavior rehearsal lessons? You're tortured if you do, and you're tortured if you don't. And if you do, after torturing them for giving them the proper response, give them a cookie, you make it that much more sick. You make it that much more sick and psychologically just batshit insane disturbing. I'm leaning towards you don't. Matter of fact, nobody has said that except you, JRC. Even the folks that defend your ass. But moving on. In some cases, however, even if the stimulus situation happens to occur naturally and without deliberate arrangement, if the student encounters it and shows the appropriate behavior, the student will be given some same special rewards that are programmed to be given with the program ops. Bullshit. I smell bullshit. These situations are called non-programmed ops. Oh, for fuck's sake, are you really going to turn everything into a behavioral lesson? God, I hate these people. First of all, stick and carrot is one of the worst bullshit ideas I've ever fucking heard in my life. Y'all want to teach them about how to accept disappointment while doing the stick and carrot. It doesn't fucking work that way, Karen. It's contradictory as fuck, and it just goes to confuse a person as opposed to teaching appropriate behaviors. Okay? I get their stick and carrot in life. Believe me, I get it. But as a means of behavioral modification, as a means of psychology, it doesn't work, folks. And why doesn't it work? Well, I'll tell you. First off, we're not fucking stupid, JRC, in spite of what you think. Most of us are extremely observant individuals. We notice all the little tiny, insignificant details that neurotypicals miss every single day, okay? We know what the proper behavior is. More often than not, Unless we are triggered otherwise, we perform that proper behavior. That's just a fact. And remember, I have worked with numerous autistics, from nonverbal to those in various stages of functionality depending on the day, throughout my adult life. As part of the Mentor program, as a member of the Southwest PAC, as a person that has worked with the Missouri Department of Mental Health and Developmental Disabilities in several different capacities, okay? We know how to act. The fact of the matter is, however, this does not overrule our neurology. So what do I mean by this? When we are triggered, and it is not dealt with in time, to the point we are going into what they call self-injurious and aggressive behavior, also known as meltdown, there's no going back. We are not in present mind, okay? Let me kind of describe this to you. When we are in meltdown, it's pure animal brain. Pure animal brain. No amount of grooming, no amount of forcing us to learn proper behavior, no amount of forcing us to regurgitate your bizarre fucking scripts is going to affect whether or not we go into meltdown when triggered. Okay? Alright? You're just seeing where I'm going with this. Here is the reality of the situation. If you know yourself enough, if you can, and if your team starts noticing, if you are able to intervene before you go into the meltdown, do so. It's simple as that. That's why it's so important to treat what's triggering these behaviors. Even when you do that, the reality of my and other people's neurology who are autistic and otherwise neurodiverse is no matter how much you do and how much you improve and how good you are at masking, eventually the neurology of our diagnosis takes over. Eventually, there's going to be something at some point in time that is going to make us act as we do within our neurology, which means meltdowns. They are going to happen. This is a reality that us autistics must accept, and that you neurotypicals and the rest of the world need to accept and understand. There is no stopping every single meltdown any more than there's stopping anytime you all burst out in the heat of anger. Okay? It's pure animal brain, and it's going to happen. What we can realistically do is to work and find what is triggering these outbursts, what's triggering these meltdowns, and work on those issues, provide reasonable accommodations, therapy, assistive devices where it can be done, in order to work on these things to at least lessen the amount of times a person is likely to go into meltdown. The goal should not be to eradicate it because it's not a realistic goal. The goal should be to lessen these meltdowns, or as they like to call it, self-injurious aggressive behavior, to the extent that it doesn't affect or impact us in the ability to be able to lead our own lives. Okay? Stick and carrot doesn't help us do this. Because stick and carrot is still leaving the triggering issues untaken care of. Which means at some point, no matter how much we know how to mask, how much we know the proper responses, the neurology is going to take over. The animal brain is going to take over. It is inevitable. And the more often and the longer that these root issues that cause the meltdowns go untaken care of, the more often they're more than likely to happen. Okay? That's why these but rewards and all of that is never going to work. It's once again this idea of using a concept that was developed with neurotypical children in mind when they're thinking that it's not really a meltdown, but they equate meltdowns with having a temper tantrum. They think we're getting something from it, and this is why the fucking medicine is wrong in this case. When you can't comprehend nor understand even what comes from meltdown, then coming up with a treatment plan when you don't understand the actions in and of themselves become automatically unhelpful. Okay? We got to throw in the garbage this idea that we can basically program into autistics a way out of their autism, or at least make us more acceptable to neurotypicals. It's a bizarre form of trying to reinforce things of how the neurotypicals act, so they think, well, eventually it's gonna stick. No, it doesn't. Okay? You're just teaching us how to mask. You're not teaching us how to deal with our problems in a healthy manner. You're just teaching us to fake it till we make it and push these issues down and push them down and push them down and push them down until we hit meltdown because the triggering issues were never dealt with and we explode. This should be basics here. Again, you can't program me out of my neurology. Period. You can help me deal with it by helping me confront, deal with, and work towards dealing with the triggering issues to lessen the frequency and the impact of the meltdowns. I'm going to close out on that one. We don't get very many reviews on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.